I am your host, Cecilia, again here, and we want to look at something very interesting about our minds today. We want to look at how our minds affects our feelings and how our feelings affects our behavior, and how we can reconcile all this during this time of COVID-19. Did you know that most of the circumstances in life, most of the events in your life depends on the way you see them, not necessarily what they are? Did you know that your mind has capacity to change the way things look like and look like the way you see them yourself? Somebody has said that things are not as they are, it is as we see them. And there's some truth into this. One of the discoveries in psychology is that most of the people who get depressed or they have too much stress, too much anxiety, is not necessarily because of what is happening around their lives. It is mostly because of how they look at the situations. It's the way they perceive them, the way their minds process them, which produces certain kind of feelings, sometimes exaggerated feelings, which affects their actions. And this keeps on being, and the more they ruminate around the issue, the more the feelings are validated and the more they behave in a certain ways. What we are saying here is this, is that we are able to alter our minds. And as we alter our minds, we alter our thinking process. And as we alter our thinking process, we are able to change how we feel and see things and how we perceive things and the way we behave. For example, we hear so many things about what is happening around. Loss of jobs, sicknesses, people dying. Are these things not true? Yes, it is true. Things are happening. But we can choose to start to process them in our minds in a certain way. We can try to look at the positive aspect of it. Maybe it is something to change the course of our life. It's something to sit down and think. Maybe I need to change the way I do my business. Maybe I need to do my things differently. It is an opportunity for growth, opportunity to change certain behaviors. Maybe we are used to go around, some of us, chasing skirts or chasing certain people for our survival. We can no longer do that. Maybe we are used to go and spend most of our times in bars and getting home at 2. It can no longer happen. And we have seen we are living and we are not dying without doing those things. Could it be that is a time we can change and see, is it possible to change my behavior? Is it possible to change the way I do my things? We call it CBT, cognitive behavior therapy. We are capable of changing our lives by changing the way we think about our lives. How about thinking today? Thinking differently about us, a person. Thinking differently about your circumstance. Looking at it as a way of growth. Looking at it as a way of developing new skills in your life. I never thought I would be in YouTube to encourage people until when I was locked down in the house. And I thought, now that I can no longer do my counseling as normal, why not develop this skill so that I can be a blessing to other people in my small way? This could be a time to change our mentality, to change the way we do things and develop new skills and change our lives and change life of ours. Why not think about it? Why not consider it? All the best. Think about changing our minds for the better of ourselves and others. All the best.